It's the night before my race. Tomorrow morning I have a 50K trail race in Governor Dodge State Park in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. Today's episode is going to be how I proceed with my pre-race setup, packing, making sure everything I have what I need, organizing my gear, nutrition, looking at weather and making sure I'm dressing properly for the race. And then I'll do a race review also at the end of this video. Hello everyone, it's the night before my race. Tomorrow morning I have a 50K trail race in Governor Dodge State Park in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. Today's episode is going to be how I proceed with my pre-race setup, packing, making sure everything I have what I need, organizing my gear, nutrition, looking at weather and making sure I'm dressing properly for the race. I'll get some clips maybe of my pre-race morning routine, and then I'll do a race review also at the end of this video. So I'll get started with how I chose what I'm going to be wearing and just discussing the weather that is likely going to be happening tomorrow. So we'll start with shoes. I have two pairs of trail running shoes. These are the Dynafit Ultra 100s, and these are the Atreyu trail shoes. I'm going to determine what I wear tomorrow and how dry the course is. The 50K has about 4,000 feet of elevation gain. It's not too terribly technical of trail, but if it's a wet course, I might prefer these heavier shoes with a little bit better of traction. If it seems like the course is going to be pretty dry, I'll go with the Atreyus. They're a little bit lighter, feel a little bit more like a normal road running shoe, and they seem a little bit faster when I'm wearing them. But I'll have my trail shoes. The socks I'll be wearing will be a pair of Smartwool. I think these are just the Smartwool Cruise socks. I like running in wool socks just because I've never blistered in them, and they're good at regulating temperature both when it's cold and warm out. So I'll have a pair of these Smartwool running socks. I am going to be wearing some Under Armour trail running shorts that I got recently. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be chilly, but they'll be, I think start time it's going to be mid-30s, and then warming up into the low 40s by the end of the race. These I've practiced a couple times in, and I really like how comfortable they are. They have a built-in liner. On the back waistband they have a big waterproof pouch to fit a phone. I will likely not be running with my phone, but they also have two fairly big side pockets on both sides that fit quite a few gels and any nutrition or gear I might pack with me. So, a pair of Under Armour trail shorts. Because it's going to be in the low 30s when I start, What I'm going to be doing is wearing just this New Balance athletic running t-shirt, and then on top of that I'll have this athletic dry fit long sleeve quarter zip shirt. That way if I do get warm I can roll the sleeves up and then unzip on my chest a little bit just to get a little bit more airflow. So that'll be what I wear on top. I'll start with a pair of dollar cotton gloves. I got these from the dollar store. These are really nice. I've worn them a couple times. They were just a cheap glove, but not too warm, and I don't feel bad for getting them dirty, or even if I'm not able to put them in my pack, if they get too warm, I wouldn't feel bad just tossing them in the garbage at the next aid station. So pair of gloves. I have just a normal running hat. I got this recently from Running Warehouse as well. I believe the brand of this is Head Sweats. So this is just a Head Sweats running hat, mainly to keep the sun out of my eyes if the sun comes out, but it does help a little bit on cooler days and keeping the top of my head warm without having to wear a stocking cap. I will have my Nathan Pinnacle race vest with me. I'll have 2 bottles. They're about 20 ounces each. One of them will be filled with water and the other will be filled with Tailwind endurance fuel. A little bit more detail on the Tailwind. So I have, I believe it's a 50 serving bag of the tropical caffeinated Tailwind endurance fuel. I really like this stuff. It works as your hydration fuel, your electrolytes, and your calories that you need throughout a race. So if I wanted, I don't necessarily need to pack anything else other than Tailwind on me to fully fuel properly during the race. That being said, I do also like to carry goo gels. This one is a salted caramel goo gel. The reason I like these is they're a little bit denser than the Tailwind, and they if I'm starting to feel hungry, 1 or 2 of these will help fill my stomach a little bit. They also have a good amount of salt, amino acids, and a little bit of caffeine just to help boost me later in the race. During the race, I'll also likely be stopping at aid stations toward the second half of the race to refuel on my water, potentially Tailwind or any Gatorade mix they might have. And I tend to like to take bananas at aid stations just because it's a good carbohydrate, easily digestible, and it doesn't upset my stomach. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, I'm either going to have just a standard hot oatmeal or one of these Bobo's oat bars. I have chocolate chip here, but I like these a lot because it's a nice condensed bar. It's got about 360 calories, so this will fuel me plenty for a pre-race meal. That's all I have for getting ready for the race tomorrow. I think I'm just going to be relaxing the rest of the night here, get to bed early, and then wake up hopefully 2 to 3 hours before my race and start prepping. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and if I don't have any clips of my pre-race or during race, we'll get straight into the running review. Bye. Hi again, everyone. It's been about 10 days since my race, the 50K race, Tour de Dodge. That race was held at Governor Dodge State Park in Wisconsin, Dodgeville, Wisconsin. The group that put on the race was Driftless Trail Collective. They're an awesome group, really into just preserving nature trails and areas where you're able to go out and use public land for adventuring and hiking and trail running and biking. The race was awesome. It's a little chilly. I think we had a little bit of flurries in the middle. Tough course. I was not expecting it to be quite as hilly, but it ended up going awesome. I took third overall. Was running in fourth place for a big chunk of it. Unfortunately, one of the leaders who probably would have been close or won the race took a wrong turn with about 5 miles to go. So I took third, ran about 4 hours and 1 minute for the 50K. That was about a 20 to 24 minute improvement from my first one. Super thrilled about that. I was a little disappointed that I couldn't run about a minute faster to get under 4 hours, but super thrilled. I think I'm in really good shape. And it's kind of setting me up to have some bigger running plans in the future. Hoping to this fall sign up for a 50-mile race and then lead me into next year. I might try the Limitless last person standing race in Wausau that they do, and then maybe a 100-mile race next year in fall. Just a little bit more topics on the race this weekend. The gear choices, I ended up going with a little bit thicker of a long sleeve with the quarter zip. It's a fleece lined, just because when the race started it was overcast and about 38 degrees, so it was a little chillier than I was planning. Because the course was a little tougher and hillier than I expected, I started to get quite a bit fatigued in the last 5 miles of the race. I don't think I suffered too badly, but I was hiking some of the steeper hills. The last quarter mile had about a 300-foot climb, so that was a really tough one. It took me about 3-4 minutes to get up that one. So otherwise I felt good. I had a lot more energy after I finished this one than my first one. On the other hand, for about 4 days, my quads and my knees were extremely sore. Walking downstairs and walking down any sort of incline was extremely painful. I think that just comes to say that I may not have been prepared for running the downhills as much as I had to in the race. So I took a couple days off. I did some walking to recover, a little bit of biking throughout last week. But now, about 10 days out, I'm picking up from where I left off. Still not at 100%, but building up my mileage to a more reasonable. I think I'm gonna plan on running 5 days this week. Last week I ran 3 or 4 days, but it was an awesome race, awesome group of people. A shout out to all the runners out there that are in ultra running. It's a very tough sport, very mentally draining, but the atmosphere is amazing. I don't think you can beat the encouragement and the friendly words from trail runners. I think everyone kind of understands how tough the races are, and they're a lot more relaxing, despite what you may think, than road running and marathon races. So something I think I'm going to plan on sticking with in the future, and hopefully getting out, running a little bit longer of races, seeing where my limits are. I'm like I said in a prior video, hoping to get to that 100-mile barrier. And actually, if I end up signing up and getting into that backyard style ultra race where it's last man standing, I think I should be able to get to 100 miles or 150 miles and hopefully see what my body's able to do in my actual limits of what my body's capable of. So thank you again for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.